The market for small, compact 60% keyboards is getting somewhat hot these days, and of course Logitech will join the action with their new flagship keyboard, the wireless Pro X 60 Lightspeed. Now, if you know anything about modern Logitech products, the Lightspeed connection is nothing new to you. It's a seemingly flawless wireless connection technology with a very low latency that has worked very well for the past 4 or 5 years and has not let down Logitech users ever since. In the box you'll get the hard case, which is nearly identical with the Pro X Lightspeed TKL wireless keyboard I reviewed over 6 months ago, and is of high quality. The case is very hard, protecting the keyboard within very well, and it looks really good as well. The only downside is the fact that most users will never need this hard case, making it an unnecessary part of the package, raising the price of the keyboard purchase overall. I said this in my review of the Pro X Lightspeed TKL keyboard, and I reiterate. It would be nice to be able to buy this keyboard without the hard case at a lower price point. That said, of course you get the tiny keyboard inside the case, a 1.8 meter USB-C to USB-A cable for recharging, the transmitter adapter, and obviously the transmitter itself. If you live in the Nordic countries, you'll also find some extra keys within the case, and all of you will also get the replacement ESC keycap for the keyboard. Overall, everything is of high quality, as is usual nowadays with all Logitech products. Beautiful design, hefty and sturdy build of the keyboard, and that's that. Nothing to criticize about the package itself in that sense, and you get all you need with the keyboard. Next, shortly on the size of the keyboard. If you ever owned a 60% keyboard before, you already know this. But those of you who never even saw one before, it's tiny. It's very small. Compared to my all-time favorite 110% keyboard, the Logitech G915, this really is very small. It's practically just the main key area of the basic keyboard and nothing else. See for yourself. You do have a function button on this keyboard to give you access to other important and necessary keys, like the F1 to F12 keys, arrow keys, home and end, page up, page down, and others. While this is very important to have and is implemented well in this keyboard, it's still something you really need to be aware of before buying a keyboard like this. While gaming, you will not easily have access to arrow keys or the F to F12 keys. Keep this in mind, as it is something that many players dislike. But if you are familiar with the 60% keyboard usage and you like it, this is definitely a good design overall. Functions well and as intended, and I find no complaints about it. You also have the RGB lighting presets, colors, and brightness behind the extra function button. Easy to use and works well. In addition to this, Logitech offers the key control, which will allow you to customize the keys on the keyboard to your liking. You can use several layering keys to customize different functions and keys to your heart's content. So for anyone looking for a 60% keyboard, this adds another positive layer for the functions of the keyboard. Excellent flexibility, making this a truly great 60% keyboard. On the left side of the keyboard you have the volume wheel. On the top side you have the power switch, the USB-C recharging port, the wireless and the Bluetooth connection buttons, and on the right side you have the gaming mode switch. All of these buttons are well designed and they serve their purpose very well. Then some technical info on the switches. They are the Logitech GX optical switches in tactile and linear options, activation point of 1.8 mm and a max travel distance of 4 mm. The linear switches require a 50 grams of actuation force, while the tactile require 60 grams. The battery life is said to be up to 65 hours, which in my use seems about correct. I got about 55 to 60 hours of use with the static RGB lighting turned on before needing to recharge. So pretty great battery life if you can play for 2 weeks, 4 hours a day without needing to recharge the keyboard. The keys are swappable, even hot swappable, but to my understanding you cannot use any other keys than Logitech keys with this keyboard. So you can get replacement keys if needed, but you cannot customize the keys to your liking, which is a shame. Logitech simply wants to lock you into their ecosystem, so take that as you will. Oh, and by the way, the keyboard comes in black, pink or white, so pick your poison. The keyboard also has a Bluetooth connection so that you can use it with any devices supporting that. And no, PS5 will not support this keyboard via the Bluetooth connection. My PS5 detected the keyboard with a USB cable connection, but since I lack any game on my PS5 that supports keyboard gaming, I was unable to test it properly myself. Then a quick sound test. As you can hear, the tactile keys have a distinct and somewhat loud sound to them, as is to be expected. The feel of the keys is rather smooth and soft, which I like. Overall, the use of these tactile keys is comfortable and pleasant to me personally. Nothing to critique about this. Then quickly a note on the Logitech G-Hub software. It works well, as is to be expected nowadays, and you get all the bells and whistles with it, just like with any other modern Logitech keyboard. Add in the new key control feature and you can control this keyboard very well as you want to fit your preferences. Then we arrive at the point of the price. Currently this keyboard costs $180 or British pounds, 200 euros or 400 Australian dollars. In my personal opinion, this price is too high. You can find other great 60% keyboards at around $100 or 120 euros. So I find it hard to recommend this keyboard at this price to anyone other than a person who really wants to have a 60% keyboard, and it must be a Logitech keyboard. This is the first 60% keyboard Logitech has ever made, and it seems they overshot the pricing of it. Even though I find very little to criticize about this keyboard, it's still not quite worth the asking price, in my opinion. You judge the price on your own. So overall, a very good 60% keyboard which offers great customization and flexible use. It looks good and sounds proper. It's fast and it's sturdy. It has all the connectivity you need and is simply a beautiful product all in all. Unfortunately, Logitech has priced the keyboard in a spot where it is not very attractive, as you can find other similar keyboards much cheaper. If this keyboard was around $100 or 220 euros, it'd be much easier for me to recommend it to anyone looking for a small 60% gaming keyboard. You will simply need to judge the price yourself if you're willing to pay that price for this keyboard. If you are, it's a good keyboard and it will serve you well, no doubt about that. That's all for now. Thank you Logitech for sending me this keyboard for this review. Thank you viewer for staying with me until the end of the video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.